Welcome to a midweek video. My name's Troy from the 513 Pickers on YouTube, but also known as Vintage Finds 513. I do this with my wife. I do it part-time, she does it full-time, but my main focus is vintage clothes. And I'm gonna put some links to my eBay and my Poshmark down in the show notes for you guys. But I really wanted to display and kind of show off some of my favorite Pendleton pieces today. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys all the cool Pendleton stuff I've found over the last couple months. Welcome to the workshop. So this is our basement. This is kind of where all the fun stuff happens, where we store our items, where we shoot our items for our listings. And this is my rack. This is my Pendleton rack. I got a whole rack just dedicated to Pendleton down here in this basement. All right, so I'm going to put a little caption here with all the Pendleton labels and how you guys can distinguish how old your Pendleton is, because that's a big deal. You want to know the age of your Pendleton. It makes all the difference sometimes in pricing, but also just collectability, anything else that you can think of. It's just a cool guide. That way you guys can screenshot that or something so you know how old your Pendleton is. I love finding the women's blazers in the thrift shops. This is kind of one of my favorite things just to look for because they are fairly common. But if you get the right color combination of these beautiful wool garments, you can really have this one stand out. If you take a look at this color, the purple and the green and the red, almost like a tartan pattern, one of the things to always look for, especially when you start to get into these late 80s, early 90s Pendleton, look for your tag, look for made in the USA. Usually, unless it's super cool, I'm passing it up if it's not made in the USA. But there are exceptions because Pendleton still makes some really cool garments. It's just one of those things where I love the vintage look. So even these tags that are more 80s and 90s tags, this is a 90s tag, just look for that made in the USA. But just take a look at this beautiful, beautiful garment. So just like that last garment, this one has a kind of that same color combination. This is more of a navy blue and green, but look at that tag compared to the other one. This one's getting more into the early 80s, late 70s. So this is the kind of tag that you would see that in. Now Pendleton, they go all the way back to the 1800s, like the 1860s or something like that. But they started making men's clothes in the 20s, and it was 1949 before they started to make women's clothes. So this is a little bit closer to like the 1970s look. And if you can tell, this is just a really cool blazer too. However, when we start talking about women's blazers and we want to go way back to the beginning of when Pendleton started making women's clothes in the late 40s and early 50s, take a look at this label here. This label is from the 1950s, and you can tell just from the style of the garment that this was just a really cool women's blazer. Beautiful gold buttons on this, beautifully lined. But look at that tag, a lot different than the last two garments I showed you. So you look from the 90s back to the late 80s or early 80s, late 70s, then all the way back to one of the original Pendleton labels from the 1950s. That's a really nice label. I'd be remiss if I didn't show you this that I actually just picked up today. This is again an early 80s label, Pendleton, maybe even like late 80s. But the fun thing is that it still has its original tags on it. It's a beautiful little piece. Love the Argyle sweater, but I don't know, anything that has the tags on it still from the 80s is pretty cool to me. Now we get into kind of the men's clothes because I'm a man. That's what happens. But one of the things I'm not going to show you is I don't have any board shirts. Now, board shirts became popular in the 1960s from the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys wore the board shirts on the cover of one of their albums, and they just took off. Everybody wanted these board shirts. So when you come to find board shirts in the wild, they don't last very long for me because I pretty much just sell them as soon as I get them. However, I do have some more modern. These are from the 1990s. This is a Sir Pendleton, nice wool, long sleeve, not a board shirt, but still has a really cool look to it. Still pretty classic. This is a USA made. So this was one of the last kind of USA made Sir Pendletons out there. Now, one thing I do like to find anywhere I go, I always look at the men's blazers because there are some definitely some hidden gems. This is a beautiful gray herringbone Pendleton, and you look at that label, it still has the wool symbol in it, and it has this size, so it's from the 1970s, early 1980s, but beautiful. But one of the things I do like that Pendleton did was on some of their items, especially on this one, they have the leather patches on the elbows, which is really cool. Take a look at that label right there. No wool patch on that one. Beautiful, beautiful jacket from probably the 1960s. Really cool. The bread and butter of my collection, though, the stuff I like the most is the Pendleton jackets. Pendleton jackets are beautiful. This one is a Sir Pendleton jacket. It's got the faux lining on the inside. Beautiful, beautiful jacket. This thing is awesome. Look at that tag. Beautiful tag. Beautiful wool jacket. Full length, or more like a peacoat style, but fully lined. I love this thing. Then my next favorite jacket is a little bit newer. You see the wool there makes it just a little bit newer, but I love the corduroy. Can you hear that? Corduroy collar to this. Beautiful navy color. And it also has like this fleece jersey lining on the inside. Makes it super comfortable. It's a small. I'm not a small guy, so unfortunately I can't wear it. I would if I could, but this is a really cool jacket. And then the number one piece in my collection, this I've had this for way too long. I've really only had it for like 6 months, but it needs to find a good home, somebody who might be a little bit taller. This is a 44 regular or 44 long. Look at that. Look at that tag there. Look at that jacket. Now, if that doesn't scream 1960s to you, I don't know what does. This, again, no woolen symbol there, but it does have the size tag there. Beautifully lined, quilted polyester lining to it. Open this up. Beautiful leather tufted buttons. Beautiful interior to this jacket. This jacket is just brilliant. And look at the color on it. It's like perfect. So that's just a few of my Pendleton collection slash what I have for sale. Everything is for sale because we're resellers. That's what we do. But my collection, I'm proud of it. I'm taking a lot of this Pendleton to the Factory 52 April 26th City Flea Vintage Show in Cincinnati, in Norwood to be exact. A lot of this Pendleton's coming with me to that show. Tons of different women's blazers, men's blazers. If it's Pendleton, it's going to be there. So, hey guys, I'm glad you watched this video. If you made it to the end, like and subscribe, please, because we're growing our channel. We want to bring you guys more content. My wife's working on some really cool stuff for her finds, for her home good finds. So make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, hit the notification button as well. It'll notify you when we have new videos. But I appreciate you guys watching so much. Hopefully you love some of this Pendleton stuff as much as I love it. Give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.